Let me tell you about the night I walked out of my family's Christmas dinner. Not dramatically, not with a speech. I just put my napkin down, picked up my coat, and left. And nobody stopped me. That actually tells you everything you need to know. My name is Marcus. I'm the younger son. And in my family, that meant one thing from pretty much the beginning. I was the comparison, the measuring stick, the one who existed to make my brother Ethan look better by contrast. Ethan was the golden child, pre-med at 17, medical degree by 26. My parents introduced him at every dinner party like he was a trophy they'd won. This is our son, Ethan. He's a doctor. Big smiles, firm handshakes. And then, oh, and this is Marcus. That was usually it. I didn't go the traditional route. I got interested in real estate in my mid-20s. Started small, made mistakes, learned from them. By the time I was 34, I was quietly running an investment company that was doing very well. Not flashy, not loud about it, just building, steadily in the background. My family had no idea, and honestly, I liked it that way. Christmas Eve, my parents' house in Connecticut. Dinner was fine until my dad had his second glass of wine. That was always the tell. One glass, and he was jovial. 2 glasses and the mask came off. He started in on me around the main course. Marcus, you still doing that real estate thing? The way he said thing, like I was collecting stamps. I said, yeah, still doing it. Making any real money? Doing okay. He laughed. Not with me, at me. And I looked over at Ethan, who was smiling into his plate. Not uncomfortable, not trying to redirect, just enjoying it. That little smile he got when the heat was on me. My mom was looking at the centerpiece. Doing okay, my dad repeated. Ethan's practice cleared $800,000 last year, and you're doing okay. I didn't say anything. I don't know where we went wrong with you. Ethan turned out exactly right, and he waved his hand at me, like I was something unfinished. Ethan refilled his wine glass, still smiling. My mom adjusted the centerpiece. My dad leaned forward. You're an embarrassment, Marcus. A 34-year-old embarrassment, and I'm tired of making excuses for you. Don't expect to sit at this table and pretend you're on the same level as your brother. I looked at Ethan, not cruel exactly, just satisfied, like he'd been waiting for that sentence for years. Then at my mom, who was very carefully not looking at anyone. I put my napkin down, picked up my coat, and said, "Merry Christmas," and walked out. My dad called something after me. I didn't catch it, didn't need to. Nobody knew what I was walking out to. Nobody knew that my company had cleared $22 million in revenue the previous year. Nobody knew about the portfolio, the partnerships, the deals quietly closing while I sat at that table being called an embarrassment. I hadn't told them because I didn't need to. My life didn't require their validation to be real. But 3 weeks after Christmas, something happened that changed the equation. I got an alert on my phone. A charge on a credit card. I barely used a card I'd let Ethan borrow once, 2 years ago, for what he said was a one-time emergency. I'd forgotten to cancel his access. He hadn't forgotten he had it. $41,000, charged over 6 weeks. A luxury handbag, business class flights to Paris. A hotel I recognized as one of the most expensive in Europe. I called my bank, confirmed the charges. Then I called the fraud department and filed a report. No call to Ethan first. No family conversation. No chance to explain. Just filed it, quietly, the way I did everything. 4 days later, my dad called. His voice was different this time. No wine-fueled confidence. Just tight and controlled and a little desperate around the edges. Marcus, this thing with Ethan and the credit card. We need to talk. He made a mistake. He should have asked you first, but he'll pay you back, Dad. He put $41,000 on my card without asking me. I know, but if there's a formal fraud charge, it could affect his medical license, his whole career, everything he's built. I let that sit for a second. Then I said, Dad, 3 weeks ago you sat at your dinner table and called me an embarrassment. You told me not to pretend I was on the same level as Ethan. You said you didn't know where you went wrong with me. Silence. I'm not your family when it's convenient and a stranger when it's not. You made a choice at that table. I'm just respecting it. Ethan knew what he was doing. He had access to that card for 2 years, and he used it the month after you threw me out of Christmas dinner. I think he thought I wouldn't do anything about it. The report stands, Dad. I heard him start to say something else. I hung up. My mom texted that evening, please reconsider. Think about your brother. I read it. Didn't respond. She texted again, he's your family. I thought about that word. Family. The centerpiece she stared at while my dad took me apart. I didn't respond. The fraud case moved forward. Ethan hired an attorney. $41,000 came back to my account in full, via settlement, within 60 days. No apology. I didn't expect one. My dad called once more. 2 months later, he started talking about how family was complicated, and maybe we could have dinner sometime. I said, I appreciate that, Dad, but dinner would just be the same table with different food. He didn't say anything. I'm good. I genuinely hope you are too. I hung up, went back to work. 22 million in revenue, and not one person at that table had any idea. They thought they were looking at an embarrassment. They were looking at the exit.